So most errors that you find in FlyWire can usually be resolved by just looking visually, using the 2D EM images to find a connection, using the 3D to make sure that it's traveling in the correct direction, or that see if there's a merger that needs to be removed. But sometimes some of our cells have more difficult errors that are not easily resolved with the same sort of just use of your visual skills or use of the tools available at your disposal through the FlyWire interface. So this is a good example of one of those. You can see we have the beginning of this cell and it terminates right here, which is not too complicated so far. But as we go up to the end of this cell and we start scrolling through, you can see that it pretty much just terminates right here, and it kind of just disappears and we can't see any sort of visual connection anymore. So the issue with this cell is that it's at this point in our data set that is right between the medulla and the lamina in the optic lobe, and this is a kind of pressure point where a lot of cells, especially cells with thin branches, end up getting constricted right on this line here, and it's pretty hard to visually find a continuation for them. So for these types of cells, you're going to have to use a little bit more detective work. It's good if you have a overview of the cell types that are in the area that you're working in. So if you know what kind of cell this is, that'll help give you a clue for what you're looking for on the other side of this jump. For this one, I found a similar cell that's already complete. So this is an L5 monopolar cell, and I found this other one, so I kind of know what I'm going to be looking for in the area, and since someone's already completed this, I know what kind of structure I'm going to be looking for and vaguely where it's going to terminate in the data set. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at this. The first thing I'm going to notice is that there's a pretty big jump between this part of the cell and its connection up here, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised if I have a similar jump over here. And then I'm going to look for a cell body that looks like this and a similar structure in this area coming off this cell. And then the second thing that I can do to help me find this continuation is to look at the structures nearby and use the process of elimination to try and find something that looks like it connects. So I'm gonna start clicking around in this area, and okay, so there's a structure that follows along with my cell, so that's good. And here's another cell that does have a continuation over that jump, so that's helpful to know where my cell might be traveling, because as you can see, it is pretty much traveling along with this neuron the whole time. So I would guess that it would continue along a similar path up here. Okay, I'm gonna click up here. Alright, there's something. And I'm going to remember to keep an eye on this neuron. You can try and just remember the color of your neuron as you're going. See. Okay. So there's something that looks pretty similar. I'm going to get rid of a few of these other things. Okay, so this pink one is traveling a very similar path to mine, so that might be helpful. Let's try right here. Let's click around a little bit. Let's go up a little further. Right here, that's something we already had before, I think. Right. taking out that one. It's the big orange one again. Try and go over here a little more. Alright, I've got a lot of stuff here, so I'm going to get rid of some of it. The structure I know is not similar with this one or this one. Alright, so I've gotten rid of those. This one doesn't look like it's it. Let's go back down here a little bit. Let's get rid of this green structure. Alright, so this pink one has a continuation already, so it's not that one. And this green one looks like something else. And now that I've eliminated all of those, you can see that I'm left with this one. And that has a very similar structure and location to this one that we know is also similar down here. So using all of our various clues, I think we can make a pretty good determination that this is the continuation to our cell, even though when you go over here and look at the connection visually, it is pretty hard to find the continuation. Here's where one end ends and the other one begins over here, and it's pretty hard to find anything in there. But using all of our other clues, we can safely say that this is the continuation to this cell.